socialize with me. Tell me more. I want to know what's going on in your life, right? And so, these things, they're like we want to know more. We want our answers. We want our questions answered. How we want to answer. Anyway, so it's kind of like, salt. Salt works the same way, right? And today we're talking about how to use salty conversations to lead into spiritual conversations. Now, salt. Does anybody know why we get thirsty when we have salt in our systems?
Hydrate.
Right, with the salty, that's the right answer. Yes. No, okay. Well, for those of you who don't know, this is kind of like something I really enjoy. My degree in school is exercise science, so I get to learn all about your bodies and why they do what they do. But anyway, so salt. So your body's in constant. It's in a constant procedure of maintaining your salt levels in your body and your water levels. So when you eat those awesome foods that are filled with salt, like bacon and fries, just get some bacon. But anyway, look at my salad and everything. So it's a constant procedure of maintaining these levels. And so when you eat, like I said, those salty foods, then it's like, the salt levels just went up. And so therefore your body wants to dispose of it. So it disposes it through your kidneys, and then when you go to the bathroom, it's how you get rid of it. But it needs water to do that. So, the body gets a bunch of salt, your kidney's like, oh my goodness, let's get it out of here. So it's like, hey, water, come on over. And then the water stirs up with your salt, and it flushes out through your system. Therefore, your water level is now low, right? Because you have the water that you have in your body, and now it's low. So then your mind, your brain, is like, hey, I need a drink. Therefore, you get thirsty. And so now you are all smarter, because now that you know. You can all tell your friends. But this idea of salt and making us thirsty is all around us. And the example of magazines. So there's magazine covers, right? And they're all labeled with these really cool things. And they got like an awesome picture, like a sports car, or some guy doing a backflip on a bike. We're like, oh, that's awesome. And maybe it makes you want to read the article or read the magazine. And same thing with the titles. Maybe they're in a cool font or a big font, or the color of the font. And it's always, not always, but we often are intrigued by the latest dirt, the gossip, the breakup, the fashion, the coolest diet, how to get 5,000 pounds of muscle in 30 days. And it's like, if you can do it, let me know. I want to do that as well. But, so these ideas, they're everywhere. And so, why not take this idea of using these salty conversations, these salty titles, and use them for evangelism? So we have an example of that, which is always nice. In John 4, I'm going to read verses 13 and 14. And it says, so this is the story of Jesus at the well, and like I said last week, we talked about the barriers and how Jesus broke all these barriers because he didn't care, because he's a man. And let's talk to this woman. So it says in verse 13 and 14, Jesus said to her, everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again. But whoever drinks of the water that I will give him will never be thirsty again. The water that I will give him will become in him a spring of water welling up to eternal life. So verse 13, he's like, listen, you can drink this water, and he probably wants her to drink the water because she needs it to survive. But she'll be back for more water, right? Because this water won't forever quench your thirst. She'll be back here the next day, guaranteed, promise. And and I wasn't really there, so I can't really say this, but I had this idea of the woman's probably like, yeah, I know. That's why I'm here every day. That's why I have a big jar, so I only come once a day instead of twice a day. And so this wasn't like a new idea to her. But then he follows it up with, if you drink the water that I give you, you will never be thirsty again. And so I have two thoughts for this. First one is, when Jesus was saying this, notice he wasn't threatening her. He wasn't drink my water. It was just like, if you drink the water that I have, you'll never be thirsty again. He was he just flowed like water flows. He was just calm. He wasn't angry or mean. And I'm sure you guys have all seen examples of people who evangelize in a mean way. I just keep using that word. So, like, an example, I was at a WSM game, and you go Blue fans in there? Yeah, Jordan's got the shirt. Jordan, you're not the end of that. But, I was walking out of the stadium. It was Michigan versus Michigan State. Okay, over 100,000 people that actually lost that game. That's a story. So I'm walking out, and there was this dude, and he's standing there. He's got this giant belt, and on this belt, he's got this holster. And sticking out of his holster is a giant pole with a giant banner. And on the banner, it said something along the lines of, you're all sinners, you're all going to hell, you need Jesus. And it's like, man, that may be true, but, I can only, imagine, oh, thank you, sir, for telling me that. Let me know Jesus now. It's like, I don't see that happening. And it's really difficult because, let's say I was with my dad, but let's say I was with a bunch of friends that weren't Christians, but then now I'm a Christian. I'm now linked with that guy with the flag that I do that on the weekends, that I'm not hanging out with them. Like, oh man, I'm going to this rally, but you guys can't come because I'm going to do some crazy things. No, I'm not doing that. Like, that's not the most effective way to evangelize to people. And so, Jesus didn't do that here. And it's a good thing. And he knows it's a good thing. He's showing us that it's a good thing. The second thought is, Jesus, when he said this, it was a strange thing, right? Like, how would you react if someone came in, to your lunchroom and had a bottle of water called Never Thirst One, and they gave it to you, and they were like, you drink this water, and you will never be thirsty again. Would you believe them? Him or whoever it is, the sales rep? Would you believe him? No. What would you say? You're crazy. Right. What else? What would you say? You're a nut job. I hate you. That's a little nuts. It's water. What else? What would you say? Liar. Prove it. Right. Sorry? Why are you giving this to me? Right. Keep it for yourself, man. Save me some money. But it's true. Like, what if it was true? What if you took this water and you're like, I don't know, this is true, but I don't know, right? And then you drink it and your hours pass, classes pass, months, days pass, whatever, and you're not thirsty. Maybe it dawns on you, hey, that water worked, And it's like, that's crazy. Imagine the amount of companies that would go out of business because you're not thirsty anymore. All of them. Coke would hate that person who created this water because they made Sonic, right? That's like a little spiel of water. I don't understand how you get multiple grades of water. Like, I thought water was water. Buy this water because it's better than this water. It's like, I don't think so. You probably got it from the same spigot, But anyway, so this is crazy problem. This lady's like, wow, this guy is off his rocker. What do you mean never thirst again? But how did she respond? She says in verse 15, she says, the woman said to him, Sir, give me this water so I will never be thirsty again or have to come here to draw water. So we know she wanted it, which is good because it was good water, guaranteed. And so that she won't be thirsty again and she never have to come back to this well again. This jar, it's probably made out of clay or something, and it's probably not that light, especially if you fill it with water. And so she's like, man, if I don't have to drink anymore, I can sell this jar, and I can buy some new clothes or something. So that's a great concept to her, and never be thirsty again. And it was kind of what she's saying, it's a crazy thought to me. I still can't get over it. Never thirsty again, and be physically. That's not. Jesus wasn't saying to never be thirsty again in a physical way, so I'm in a spiritual way. But imagine a physical way. Blow my mind. Anyway, so we know that she wanted the water. She's like, yes, sir, I want this water. Give it to me. I need this. I desire this. And so that's Jesus he was evangelizing her. He gave her a little bit where he said, if you drink this water, you'll thirst again. If you drink my water, you'll never thirst again. And that was it. That's all he had to say. And then the lady was like, she's biting at it. She's like, oh, She wanted it. That's all he had to say. And he didn't go into this long theological spiel of what he really meant when he said, "I'll drink my water, never thirst again." He just said it, and the lady was intrigued, and she's like, "Man, this is like a dreamland, I want to stay here, I want this water, this is a great idea, this is great for me." And so you may think, well, that was Jesus. He was like the best, evangelist of all time. Yes, he was Jesus, and he is a great evangelist. But it doesn't mean that we can't do the same. There's a verse, John 14, 12 through 14. It talks about, this is Jesus speaking, and he's saying, I will be with you, and you will be able to do things just as great as I have done, and greater. As long as, so that you pray in my name, and the Son will be glorified. God will be glorified through the Son. So, and if we pray in his name, he says he will give it to us. And that's crazy. Think of all the awesome things Jesus has done. He raised from the dead. That's all I got to use the example of, right? And it says, right here, not right here, but in John 14, you will do greater things than me. That's crazy. That is awesome. That's so encouraging to know that Jesus has put the power in me to do amazing things. And so, and then another verse that kind of goes with this, and I think an example that we can use, we can always refer back to, is in Colossians. Colossians 4, 2 through 6. And so, I read this, and this is great, because you can totally take this verse, and if you want to know how to evangelize, I know a lot of us are like, man, I'm just not good at it. I'm not good at talking to people, or I say the wrong things, And it's like, and this is true. We all need to practice. But this, I totally believe these verses right here is great. You just read them and chew on them a little bit, and meditate on them. You will just become, more confident in your ability to minister. So I'm going to read it. It says, "Continue steadfastly in prayer, being watchful in it with thanksgiving. At the same time, pray also for us." So this is Paul. And Paul is a great evangelist himself, and he's still asking for prayer. So even this awesome man is still I need your prayer. And he says, "Pray for us that God may open the door for the word to declare the mystery of Christ, on the account of which I am in prison, that I may make it clear which is how I ought to speak. Walk in wisdom toward outsiders, making the best use of time. Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how you ought to answer each question." This is great. I got excited when I read this. But it says, be watchful. God has put situations in our lives that will come, and we don't want to miss them. We need to be spiritually alert. We see someone by themselves in class or at lunch. If that doesn't scream opportunity, I don't know what does. They're by themselves, so you can have the awkward walk over there to a group of people and just spiel something out. They're by themselves. They're already lonely. They're if anything, it was a prime opportunity. And it's one-on-one. So like I said, it's not like you're speaking to a group of people. And it says, it says, it's in here. I read it. I know it. Oh, okay. Walk in wisdom toward outsiders. Outsiders, so non-believers. As Christians, we're being watched by everybody. If someone knows you're a Christian, they're watching you because you make a bold statement that you follow Jesus Christ and that you are different. And people want to know that you are different. Because if you're not different, then why would they want to be like you, right? And so that's huge. And it says, make the most of every opportunity. Now, that is on all different levels. I remember we're all going to the Eats training, right? Or we've seen maybe some of the videos. And in the very first video, Pastor Seidel, he talks about, uses the analogy of playing soccer. So making the most of your opportunity. Maybe your part in this person's walk to salvation is just to start the play. Maybe you plant the seed. Or maybe you introduce them to someone in the sense of like you're passing the ball, having the person's the ball, or one of soccer ball. But it's just the idea. You're going to introduce them to someone like, oh hey, this is my friend Andrew. And then maybe Andrew just has something in common with this person and it just clicks. Or maybe Andrew's like, man, he's like, I think I know someone who you'd get along with great. So he passes it off to someone else. And not it off, you know what I mean. But we value people here. But and then he says, have your conversations be full of grace and seasoned with salt. And this is my favorite. Full of grace. Okay, so we all know the verses, God's grace is enough for us. It's sufficient. Saved by grace through faith, right? So we've received all the grace we can handle. We don't even know what to do with all of it. That's why we never said. But anyway, so we have this grace, but I feel like, even for me, there have been times in my life when I am trying to tell someone about Jesus that I don't use grace. I am more forward in their face, and at times that I shouldn't be. And I always have to apologize to the person, like, hey, listen, I'm really sorry. This is what, I'm excited. But remember, we've been given all this grace so we can give it to somebody else. We can be intriguing. It says, seasoned with salt. We're Christians. We gotta be lively. We gotta be, the people throwing the parties in a good way, of course. And having fun and, going, on mission trips, national and international. And even in your backyard, because that's where the mission field starts. In your house, in your school. And if anything, that's great. It's a great training ground for you to go somewhere else. But it starts right here. And I know I missed that when I was in high school. I used to always think, I've got to go, across the world to Amsterdam and tell people about Jesus, which I did do, which was awesome. But I didn't have to do that in order to be an evangelist. I just had to walk out my front door and go to the park. That's all I had to do. But so where is your guys' mission field? Where do you guys spend a lot of your time? The mall? The movies, yes. School? Work? Ram's Horn, yes. Yes, because you're working there. It's open 24/7. What a great place to go to evangelize. You're always open. I feel it's about time to go talk to someone about Jesus. I should go. Ram's Horn, it's open. It's great. I love it. It's a great example. What else? Where do you spend your time? Bowling alley? School? There's hundreds of people at your school. And it's flowing with people that need to hear the word of Jesus. And so, I had these two unique opportunities this week. I was walking out of class, and it was this exercise physiology class, and I had to bike on this machine for I felt like forever, and I was dying. I enjoy exercise, but I can't stand cardio, so I don't know if that means I like exercise or not. But so I was just sweating all nasty and did not like it. But so I'm walking to my car. There was a girl in my class. She was walking the same way. So and this was on Tuesday, and she says, "Hey, where are you going?" And so I said, "I'm going to a small group with high schoolers." That's all I said. I said, "Just wait. She'll say something because she doesn't know what that is." And so I waited 3 seconds. She's like, She's like, "So what's a small group?" I said, "Yes." She asked me. She let me open up a can of spiritual worms, and I was gonna bring it. I'm gonna lay it on it, but that was very nice. But I said, well, it's a Bible study. I hang out with high schoolers. I love high schoolers. This is where I invest my time. I wouldn't have it any other way. And then she says, no, wait, this is great. She's like, "Oh, that's nice." Just like that social cue of it's not what I wanted you to say, That's nice. So she's like, "Well, where do you work?" So I was like, "Well, why don't you ask?" And I said, I work at a church. And she's like, "Oh, that's really nice." And you just knew she didn't want to talk to me anymore, but she's a lot of the same ways, so she stuck with me. I did what I could. I made the most of every opportunity. I wasn't in her face. I was aware, I was alert. I saw an opportunity and I was aware of it and I took it. And another example, I got my haircut on Thursday. And so I walk into this place and there's nobody there, which is usually a bad sign, right? You go to whatever the place is called where you get your haircut, there's nobody there, you're like, maybe no one likes this place. But I was like, too late, I'm here. So I walk in and it was such an awkward situation because these two ladies are at the desk and they're just looking at me like, why are you here? But so I sit down in the chair and the lady's like, so what brings you to this side of town? I'm like Rochester or Auburn Hills. I'm like, oh, I'm missing between classes. I go to school at Oakland. And she's like, oh, that's really cool. And she's like, so what are you doing with school? And I told her that I was going to school for exercise science and I'm going to go back to school for ministry. And as soon as I said that, she asked me another question. The entire time she cut my hair. But it was, it's like, not all of my stories end like that. They're not always like, and we never spoke again. They're not like that. This just happened this week. And so don't think like, man, if I tell someone that I love Jesus, they're not going to talk to me ever again. No, that's not what I'm saying. It's bad examples. But that's what happened this week. And so, I would totally, just challenge you guys. Actually, as a band, you guys want to come back up, that'd be sweet. I would challenge you guys to do something this week that makes people ask questions. I showed up and got a haircut and told her I went to school and what I was doing. And she, I barely did anything. I showed up at the salon, can I call it that? I don't know, barber shop? Barber shop, sorry. So, these examples, I didn't really have to do a whole lot except open my mouth and allow God to use me. I allowed God to put me in the situation just in my normal day. I didn't have to make some ridiculous effort of going to an alley in some, downtown area, some weird area to talk about Jesus. I was at my school, walking in my car like a normal person. And so, I challenge you to do something this week. And like the 40 challenge. We've got those big posters. Who took one? Who signed it? Sweet. You guys been doing stuff with it? You've been checking off the list? I mean, you can do some sweet things on it. And I'll totally challenge you guys if you haven't done it and you want to. There's definitely that corner. They're available. There's posters, and they've got awesome things. They're not even hard things to do. Buy somebody lunch. Compliment somebody. I don't even know that's on the list, but just do it. And it's not. It's so easy, and it's no. But yet at the same time, it's so important and it's effective. So that's what we have for today, and so we just pray, and then we'll head over to the band. God, I thank you for this morning. God, I thank you that you just allowed me to have the opportunity to share what you put on my heart, God. God, I pray for Jerry and for Joe as they're away right now. God, I pray that you just bless their time away, bless their time together. And God, I pray that you just speak to them and just tell them what they need to hear. And God, I thank you for all these students here that love you. And God, I know that you have a plan for each of them. And I know that you want to see them succeed. I pray, Lord, that you just start a fire in their hearts and just never let it go out. And God, I thank you just so much for your glory and just for all you've done and all you're going to do for us. In Jesus' name, amen.